Hey, what's up? My name's Fuqua. The year's been rough, but the music really hasn't. This has been probably one of my favorite years for music since 2016. And I'm going to be taking you through some of my favorite albums this year, so let's hop right into the top 10 albums of 2020. We're going to be starting off strong with number 10, How I'm Feeling Now by Charli XCX. To preface this, not everyone is going to enjoy this album, as coming into it, I was a really big 100 gecs fan and already enjoyed Charli's previous work, so it's kind of melded the two styles together really perfectly for me, the hyper-pop musicianship, but like the pop sensibility. The production is gritty, nasty, really distorted sounding, but the songwriting melds it together in a way that is really enjoyable to the ear and sounds good in like a conventional format. Number 9, Taylor Swift's Folklore. I wasn't the biggest Taylor Swift fan coming into this album, but it really blew all of my expectations out of the water. The sparse and minimal production really works well with the more sad songwriting. The vocals are great as always because it's Taylor Swift, and the features on this album, like Bon Iver, work really well. I have to say it Number 8, The Slow Rush by Tame Impala. Coming off of Currents, it's a hard thing to follow up. While they definitely did not top Currents, it's probably one of my favorite albums of all time, but this album comes pretty darn close. I really enjoy it. It draws a lot more in from the pop side of the songwriting experience. Kevin Parker's vocals are great, the production is great, the musicianship is great. It's just like, it's a very well-rounded album. And number 7, Ohms by Deftones. Deftones is one of my favorite bands ever. They draw a lot from the artistic and like more experimental sides of metal. Coming off of 2016's Gore, which really was the soft kind of unexpected album from them. Ohms takes that heaviness and dials it all the way up to 11. 9-string guitars, insane drummings. Chino Moreno's vocals sound great. It's really a great return to form for them. Number 6, Eternal Take by Lil Uzi Vert. Everybody's favorite 5'3" short king is back at it again. Really, probably my favorite trap album of the year. Really lived up to its hype in my opinion. Not every song is great on it, but the songs that are more than make up for it. Number 5, After Hours by The Weeknd. First off, this guy was robbed. This album more than not definitely deserved a Grammy nomination, whether for Best Song, Blinding Lights, or Heartless, or Album of the Year. In fact, this is so good. A really great inspiration from the 80s synth pop, but like The Weeknd's same like dreary kind of nihilistic view on life comes through really well through this album. I like it way more than Starboy. This one has just been great for me. Number 4, Post-Human Survival Horror. Post-Human Survival Horror by Bring Me the Horizon is definitely my favorite metal album of the year. But taking what they learned off of Almo, their last album, that more electronic, more sad sounding feel, they meshed it really well with their older nu metal influences off of albums like That's the Spirit. It mixes really well together. Songs like Kingslayer featuring Baby Metal. That's probably my song of the year, to be honest. It really blew me out of the park with how great just like the overall structure and mixture of the elements of this album work together. Because things that shouldn't go together did, and I gotta give the band the credit they deserve on that. Number 3, Run the Jewels 4 by Run the Jewels. This album is 2020 in a nutshell. Hyper political, really fast paced, insane, going different directions you didn't expect. Gritty, disturbing lyrics. The wordplay is excellent off of Killer Mike's Behand. And LP, the beatmaker. Number 2, Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi. I'm very glad I did this list late in the year. Much later than usual, because this album is amazing. I didn't know he was releasing anything new, and when it showed up on my Apple Music feed, I was really genuinely surprised. And I have to say, this was one of the best surprises I've received in a while. This song is great. Everything on it, things like Dive, Beyond, The Void. They're all great songs, and there's even a feature from our #1 artist. Number 1, Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. If you've ever been on my Instagram, you know I'm a massive Phoebe Bridgers stan, Bridge Boy. But this album is great. Songs like Kyoto, I See You, I See the End. Each one of those songs by their own, if another artist released them, it could be a career song. But for Phoebe Bridgers, as we've come to expect, she spent 2019 with Better Oblivion Community Center, and like Dylan Ober's songwriting, you can hear a lot on this album. It's a perfect album. I really can't say a single bad thing about it. I really enjoyed every second I spent listening to it. Man, it was great.